Good afternoon, everyone. Hope we are still focused and have the energy maintained. I know there is an exciting session going to be happen there. Good, yeah. So, data engineers, we are most of the time always called as unsung heroes. No, I don't think we are no more accepting that we are unsung heroes. Actually, we are singing loud and loud now, and things have been recognized. Over the period of time, we have grown, and at a very high level, it has been recognized, and everybody understand how important our contributions are. For the success of AI journey and the complete analytical steps happening across the organization. Yeah. So let's go through the today's focus. Now I have an AI agent, taking us through what will be the today's focus that we'll be talking about. Yeah.
Hello and welcome. I'm excited to share today's agenda. Best practices in data engineering, a key foundation for building robust, scalable, and reliable data systems. In this brief session, we'll walk through essential principles that help data teams deliver consistent, high-quality, and business-ready data. Let's get started. First, design your systems with modularity and scalability in mind. Structuring pipelines into smaller, reusable parts makes them easier to manage and adapt as your data grows. Second, focus on automation and reliability. Reducing manual steps improves consistency and minimizes human errors across the data lifecycle. Third, ensure strong data quality and observability. Validating data at every stage builds trust and prevents issues from affecting critical decisions. Fourth, implement version control and structured processes for managing changes. This fosters team collaboration and helps maintain stability as systems evolve. Fifth, manage your metadata and data lineage effectively. Understanding where your data comes from, how it changes, and where it goes enables better governance and transparency. Sixth, prioritize security and access control. Protecting sensitive data and managing permissions carefully are essential for compliance and user trust. Lastly, promote collaboration between technical teams and business stakeholders. Clear communication ensures that your data efforts align with real business needs. As data continues to grow in complexity and value, these best practices will help your organization stay efficient, trusted, and future-ready.
Well, yeah, thanks for it. And how data creates the magic, right? This is the introduction was the one of the example. So the data that we fed, this is the AI agent, and definitely it was based on the data that we are feeding into, So let's talk about the modularity and scalability. I'm not talking much about the technical things because it differs from the organization to organization. A lot of things have evolved recently. There are multiple technologies, tools are there. So in a nutshell, very high level, the modularity, scalability, what it means and why it matters, kind of thing, right? So about this, right? We while developing the pipelines and all, we all know we have to break down into the silos sometimes, and into the smaller and independent tasks, right, to make the things much more seamless. Yeah, but data engineering, while doing the regular ETL stuff, it is not just about nowadays data engineering is not just limited for the ETL and building the data, integrating the data and all. So it is very essential nowadays for the data engineers to also have in-depth knowledge about the platform. We should know what are our platform limitations, because all the companies, there are multiple startups nowadays. There are well-established organizations, right? So not everyone, everybody talks about the AI. Okay, everybody talks about the AI. Everyone wants to modernize their architecture, but it comes with the cost, right? So there are certain limitations. So within the boundaries, the given boundaries, tool stacks, and the platform, the best out of the data can be derived. It is made possible by all of us, the data engineers, right? So we have to understand the platform, limitations, what are our boundaries, and then within that we have to, automate all our ETL pipelines, breaking down into the components, and then do the regular things, the validation, loading, the regular things that we do, okay. And breaking down into the smaller things, right? Of course, no, it is easy for us to manage if we have things, broken down into the smaller things, and it is always, we should be ready for accommodating the changes. So, we all data engineers, it is not just about the automation things and it will run, okay? Because our pipelines, after automation, it should also keep serving the incremental need of the data. It is not like, we have developed, deployed to the production, and our job is done, okay? So even post-production also, so it should keep on serving the incremental need of the data, okay? So we have to also keep the platform, related aspects in mind that we have automated, and because we always expect the changes in the data. While development, we might have developed certain things on a specific set of the data, and in the quality environment or the testing environment, we do these things a certain interval period of data taking into the consideration, and we complete the automation, right? But in the production, as the data keeps on coming, keeps on growing, right, we should always keep all those things into account while developing all these things. And also, as much as possible, we have to create the reusability, of course, like we are all doing this one. But coming to the data products, like how are we going to reuse the data, the incremental data coming into the picture, we have to take all these aspects into consideration and create lots of reusability in terms of the data and considering the platform related aspects in mind. Yeah. Next one is kind of automation and the reliability. Yeah. So basically, the automation requires like we do it. I don't want to sit every day and do it manually, bringing data from here and loading to the target. It is not just limited to that, right? So in addition to that, we should have a strong the monitoring capabilities, and we should also take our stakeholders into the confidence always. Yeah, because data engineering and the ETL, it is not just limited to the data engineering team. If we develop the pipelines, provide the data, job is not done. Okay, we should also have, because many of the time, like I could say, the data engineers will not have the visibility, who is using this data, where this gets used. It is very important, for all the data engineers or the teams that they are building. They should also have, some sort of a business insights, like where it gets used. And while accommodating the changes, you will automate once, but we have to keep on accommodating the changes. We will get lots of enhancement and everything, right? So, if we need to accommodate those things, right, we should also, consider, they should be aware of the usage, the consumers of the, the data and the nature of the systems which consumes the data, right? So they should be, aware that, okay, how the business continuity, should happen. And also we should accommodate all these, the changes that we will be accepting. Yeah, and then for that one we should build the complete end-to-end the data ingestion framework, and there will be certain the reusable components must be developed to take care of the accommodation, because not every time we have to automate. There will be lots of ad hoc activities to take care of the certain needs. Yeah. And then why it matters is, of course, reduces the manual intervention, and then we need to achieve the consistency in the data delivery, yeah, and the trust, that on the data consumers, right? So the trust, and we have to take them into the confidentiality, right? So it is very important, understanding the complete business requirements, and then align to the complete business requirement and build our pipelines, making use of the infrastructure that is available, because the expectations are always high, and the what has been given to us not necessarily always it will be everything, like the completely fulfilling our needs, right? Yeah. And about the data quality and observability, yeah. Data quality, I don't think like we need to of course it is a very important thing, it is a essential, very essential part indeed. Yeah, it has to be there. Yeah, So now most of the time what we do, like of course, like we do ETL development and we do the QC, till where we do the or consider the data quality aspects, right? So most of the time during the development phase, some sort of basic checks that we do, and in the testing phase maybe we do more like oftenly we do lots of kind of testing and all. But what happens if it goes to the production? Are we serious about the data quality when it goes to production, or it is just limited to the non-production environment? That is a very important thing, right? So most of the time when the data comes to the production, right, the cycle that we follow, the development, testing, and then the production, okay? And I'm sure you all might have faced the situation that there will be data issues in the production, and which has to be fixed on the immediate basis depending on the severity of the issue, and data engineers will be tied their hands with the processes, right? So then you may say that it has to be fixed, you have a business pressure, but you need to follow the process. I need to go via build if you are following Agile, some other project methodologies, the processes, they are here for the good cause, but of course sometimes it will tie our hands, right? So you have to do it again in the test dev environment, do the testing and all. So this has to be robust in nature, yeah. So that means we have to take the data quality aspect also very seriously, and so why can't we have the parallel, or why can't we integrate the data quality aspects within our ETL pipelines? Okay, and why can't we have the fail-safe kind of option? Like if I would like to give an example, right? CDC, you all know, like CDC, the way CDC is implemented, again it is like there are multiple ways. Some guys might use golden gate, click replicate, some multiple technologies are there nowadays. Okay, so what I suggest is you may or may not be following, like as per my this one knowledge, what I suggest, like because this helped us a lot in a couple of the teams and the companies that I worked. So for the CDC, it is not just about real-time ingestion of the data, capturing the changes. And our third process while building this kind of real-time ingestion, it should not be just limited for the ingestion and just for the consumer perspective. You also need to understand the upstream, okay, how the upstreams are designed, okay, because this field, I think it evolved recently and the expectations are high, and we think our limitation is only within the data platforms. So we should extend, start thinking about our upstream systems. Okay, I work in the banking, there will be retail, there will be other healthcare and other industries where everybody will have the customer facing or the core applications or the core things, right? So, and another thing is that we are not the creators of the data. Data engineers, our main job is to enabling the data, right? So if we think about only the ETL pipelines that we are building, we should also see for doing the CDC whether the upstream system is capable of giving the real-time data. Okay, is it capable of? Is it like did it build did they build this system for providing data as a service in real time? Sometimes like if we suddenly develop all the real time integration and plug into the core systems, and it will stop working there. Okay, so the first priority is the business continuity. That is designed to serve the customers, not to give as a data as a service. So we should have all this understanding, and then have it started at the upstream level, not just start building the pipeline. The one thing, yeah. And another thing is data quality checks. So how are we relearning from the the quality issues that we are getting? So that is also very important, right? So see, some issues comes, what kind of issues will come: junk character space, DDL changes, the typical things, right? So if we address all these things, job is done? Of course, no. These things may come again, yeah. And are we, in all the companies, are we the only one who are consuming the data from a particular system? There will be multiple downstream who are consuming the data. So how all these downstreams consuming the data from a particular system are collaborating each other and ensuring the issues faced by one team are efficiently communicated to the other teams, and together communicated to the core teams and addressed at the core team and prevented, for them coming again and again, right? This sort of thing has to be done. It is all the process-driven kind of thing. These kind of things, these two things that, the compatibility and readiness of the upstream system for giving data as a service, are they capable or not? Then, decision making, of course, important, but we have to, make that it is waiting for some time, then go and prepare those upstream systems so that your future things are like you will not going to, rework, or otherwise you will end up reworking a lot. Data engineering team, no, I think this is maybe other teams, but this is the one of the team where lots of rework happens, right? Yeah. So we have to ensure that we have to tell that yes, this will be delivered. Prerequisite: prepare the upstream systems which can efficiently provide the data. It is not about just taking the data kind of thing. Yeah. And the data quality aspects to be communicated. Okay. It is not just if there are issues. If I fix job is not done, take those learnings, consolidate all those learnings, collaborate, among other downstream, because all will be working in the same organizations or maybe different projects, clients, something like that. And try to collaborate, consolidate, and go to the upstream systems. Try to address as much as possible in the upstream systems. Yeah. And version control, structured process, So versioning, it is pretty simple that, versioning means code versions, simple definition, right? So how different that we can do, like what are the things that we are not doing currently, right? So what kind of persons will see? Every time, I will not talk about the regular things that we do. We get the requirements, build the pipelines, load the data, right? You all know, it's a day-to-day job for us that, suddenly we'll get a requirement that, for example, like in the banking and from marketing campaigns, like, or there is a festival, we have to immediately trigger the campaign. For some festival, we have to immediately trigger the campaign, bring the data, then we have automated all the code. It has to be run in the production environment and the banking. How will you run it? Because that was not part of our automation, right? So we have to build the reusable, and we have to how the this cannot be misused also, right? Anytime you cannot run anything and load anything and trigger the campaigns and all. The version controlling plays a crucial role, and then the regulatory and the governance also it helps. The versioning helps for the governance model also, it is very essential that to know what code is running and this is responsible for what purpose, right? So it is not just about versioning the code. It also helps maintaining the compliance body, okay, and it also plays a crucial role in the regulatory. The regulatory team may or may not be knowing that version controlling is helping us, but this plays a crucial role, but whatever technology, of course, depending on the feasibility infrastructure we use, but this concept is very important, and we have to design things in such a way that, all the ad hoc things and, all these things we should be able to address within the proper the compliance and the governance body, yeah, something like that we should build it, yeah, and it also helps, it is just about the addressing the ad hoc things to meet the immediate business needs, and of course, many times we will not be knowing because of which what has failed kind of thing, right? This is a real thing. If you have the version control, it helps us that okay to backtrace, go across the lineage, which connected all the dots, from source of truth to end, it helps, split the things and all, and properly identify where is the cause and fix it and all, yeah. And if you want to roll back and all, in application world it happens, pretty easily. You can roll back things and all. In data world, it is a painful job, right? You have loaded so much and then you roll it back, and it's a lot of painful job that we all go through it, yeah. And it brings a lot of discipline in the because the architecture most of the time we make it more complex, right? You see, we will start the raw data acquisition, then we will think about the building dimensions, facts and all marts. Then we is it limited to that one? No, we will starting data modeling. We think that okay, we will acquire the data, then build the dimensions, then build the marts. Then we will end up building marts on top of the marts. Okay, then it is just we'll start with just basic satellites things and all. Then after that the universe, then super everything. It keeps on going, marts on top of marts, marts on top of marts. Then over a period of, if you look back and see, we'll see what it is kind of thing, right? So for that it is I will talk about the metadata kind of things, right? It is very important to have the metadata, right? So metadata, basically we think that it is the data about the data, but it is not just limited to the data about the data. So data about the data, that other data is not just related to our data, yeah? There are many more things, okay? So data engineering team must be aware of all the information, not limited to the what are all the sources, what are all the indexes, what are all the table that we are bringing. No, not just limited to this one. We should also know what are all the the technologies that we are using, what are all the technological the pros and cons that we have, what is the limitation, and we should also be aware that the other aspects like the cost, efficiency, because we talk about like ad hoc activities I told, right? So if you don't have the information about the platforms, if you don't have the information about the requirements, each and every aspect you take, it can be the insights that you are deriving out of it, and it can be about the projects, and it is not about just bringing the data, pushing it for one project. You should also identify, how many places or how many consumers, how many projects are using this data, and we cannot, create always, in silos and acquire the data and keep it at one place for each project, in a separate places, right? Like we have to ensure that the reusability is happening, yeah, and all the changes and the things those are happening right across all the project level requirement, everything that requires for this complete integration and all, we should have all the information, not just limiting to the data, indexes and the tables, column schema, etc., all these things, right? It is not just limited to that, it is like more than that, I could say. Then only it will help for the data discovery and things, right? Many of the times, as I told, I give an example that we'll start building with dimension facts, then marks, one after other, it will keep on increasing. So essential metadata, it builds the confidence, it builds the confidence for the consumers, and they can look back, because many of the business opportunities starts looking at the data that is available with us. Yeah, I think that is there. I will just move faster. And the security and the access control. Yeah. So there are lots of aspects, right? Nowadays, like we have to ensure all the role-based access, and also like sometimes we face the challenges. One of the challenge that I faced was like it's multiple verticals. They have the data and they don't want to see each other's data, but the data is residing in a single table. It's a huge, like I cannot create it in silos, right? There are like lots of conflicts that I want to see, two teams wants to see the same data, other three teams don't want to see each other's data, and then in that case we'll go for the row level security. Then we have RBAC ensuring the right users, authorized users accessing the right data. So all these things matters a lot, and it avoids the data mismanagement, right? So data mismanagement, happens inside organization, even outside organization. For as like a bank, so we are like more concerned that data, can never be mismanaged, misutilized internally or the externally. We are very cautious about it, and we build the right set of the processes for it. And the promoting collaboration. So collaboration, not just limited to like we have the Scrum team sprint, something like we use like just for a project team. It is not just that, the collaboration, if it is happening between, among data engineers, data architects, solution architect, no, like so I feel the collaboration should happen with even the stakeholders, the businesses, because many of the time I hear the feedback from many of my team members that we are bringing this data. For what we are bringing? Who is using this data? That transparency is a very important, essential for the data engineers, and that collaboration should happen along with the business, and everything that we are doing, like we are automating the QC. So you will definitely have the alerts configured and all. So I encourage that include your stakeholders into the alerts. Hey, today we have executed this, we have processed this data, for consumption. and today we have processed, but there are some failures. So this brings the transparency, and it increases the confidentiality of the stakeholders who are consuming the data. So make them part of the alerts and all. Yeah. So that's the thing. So we should always in sync with the data engineers, and we have to establish this relationship between the data engineers as well as our stakeholders. It is very important. And it should be insight driven. Okay, it is not just about we build and all. For the leadership or for the stakeholders who are consuming the data, we should also create the awareness that through the insights, like what we have created, what it is in terms of the stats or the numbers, and how it helped the business. So we should be able to connect and relate that whatever effort has been done, how it is helping, so that so that it helps, and it creates the realization for the stakeholders, and then it improves the confidentiality for us as well as to the stakeholders. Yeah. So that's all I have, for the day. And this is vigilante for the the campaign, the Safe Data Sound Sleep kind of thing. Of course, we are data engineers. If we have our data is safe, then we will have sound sleep. And if something goes, means I'm sure like many of the time we end up working late nights, and wherever we are, we have to So hope we all build the solutions which is safe and the sound sleep and enjoy our time and all. Yeah, that's good. And now we are proud. Now we should feel proud that each and everything starts with the data, and we are the creator of it. So we should all feel proud, as a data engineer. Yeah, that's all for. Thank you.